Uh, Hello. I'm out of breath. I'm really out of breath. And you might be wondering why. And it's because I just carried in a bunch of records because I want to do a record collection video. I did a Blu-ray one or DVD one, and people seem to like that. And so I don't actually know if anybody asked for this one, but I'm doing it anyway because there's so many. And I don't really want to edit this video. I'm going to be honest. I don't really want to edit it. I'll try to waste as little time as possible, though. I like some of these records, I'm just going to say the name and move on. Because some of them have zero backstory, and I have very little feelings about them. Very few feelings, I should say. And then others, I have more to say. I have like times 10 more records than I do Blu-rays, which is, I'm not a music guy on YouTube. I'm a movie guy, but I do really love collecting records. It's been something I've been doing since high school. I take pride in my record collection, and I've gotten a lot of new ones recently, so I was like, I should just fucking show this off. So that's what I'm going to do. Maybe this will help you fall asleep. Maybe you're genuinely curious about these records. Maybe you'll walk away with some new recommendations, because some of these I don't think are that well known, and I feel very strongly about them. Some of them are very embarrassing too. Some of these are humiliating. But those are from my high school era, and I don't want to get rid of them because it says something about me. So let's start with some of the recent ones I've gotten. Let's just get into it. Okay. So this first one, it's just Psycho Hotline. I don't know what that means, to be honest. I got this because it's by Kieran Hebden, aka Fortet, a producer that I really love, one of my favorite producers, and this is a new project he did with William Tyler is the name, and I really like their song Darkness, Darkness, so I just wanted to get this on vinyl. Moving on. It's going to start the pile there. Run the Jewels 2, this is a high school one, but I still really like this album. I think it's the best Run the Jewels album. Fantastic. Still works really well. Toro y Moi, Anything in Return, used to be my favorite album of all time. Don't really feel that strongly about it anymore. I think Toro y Moi's made some better stuff, but still really love this. Love the cover. I think it's the only Toro y Moi album I have on vinyl. We'll see. But yeah, really like this album. I'm going to cover this one. Death Grips The Money Store. I think this is the only Death Grips album I own on vinyl. I'm pretty sure. Love this. Bought it in high school because of Anthony Fantano, but I still listen to it. I actually have been revisiting it a lot recently, and I really love this album. It's, I think the older I've gotten, the more I've appreciated it. The Birds, this is my mom's album. Fantastic. Put it on often. Psycho soundtrack. Bought this off my friend Trevor. It's a red vinyl. I'm not going to take it out because it takes too long. But see, now look at what happened. But yeah, great, fun to have. I don't listen to it that often, but I'm glad I own it. Let's see, got this for $2 at the record store. Art Garfunkel, Breakaway. I really just like Waters of March. That's like the main reason I got this, and I like that song because of Worst Person in the World. This is one of the funniest things I own. It's the News of the World score. Yeah, the score. Have not listened to this. I have not opened this once. I didn't even know there were 2 LPs. That's fucking crazy. Haven't seen the movie. Haven't listened to the music. Got sent this because of like a press thing. And I think it's one of the funniest things I own. You're Dead by Flying Lotus. One of my favorite albums of all time. Like still. And I said that in like high school, but it's one of the few albums in high school where I said that still applies. I think this is still one of the greatest albums I've ever heard in my life. It was it opened my eyes to what music could be. It was kind of just a big, what's the word? Milestone? Is that I don't know. It was big. It was very, very big for me in high school, and I still really love it. I think it sounds amazing. Lionel Richie, great album cover. Again, I think this might be my mom's. What is this band called again? Damaged Bug, yeah. For some reason I want to say Bug Crusher, but love this album. Got put onto this freshman year of college. Just recently got it at the record store. Fantastic. Great cover, great album art. Plantasia. I just had to get this. I had no idea. I was surprised when I saw it at the record store, and I was like, I just need to have this because it's kind of an internet classic at this point. It's very calming. It's nice to just have on in the background while I do chores. And it comes with like this pamphlet that I think is really fun. But Baby Driver soundtrack. Got this for Christmas. Love this album. It's one of the best movie soundtracks. I reference it very often when I think about the greatest movie soundtracks. It's fantastic. John Cassavetes' Shadows score by Charles Mingus. Yeah, I mean, what is there to say about this? This is a fantastic album. I have listened to this way more than I thought I would, but when I saw it at the record store, I was like, I just need to have that because that's pretty cool. This is out of place, but this is from Flying Lotus's Until the Quiet Comes. I don't know why it's on its own, but let's see. Gary Newman, The Pleasure Principle, the first recordings. This was kind of I like Gary Newman a lot, but this was a blind buy. I've never actually listened to this album. I really liked the like packaging and the design of it all. And yeah, it's great. I don't have a lot of thoughts on it, but cool packaging and yeah. The Moonlight score, not much to say about this at this point. It's fantastic. You know it's great. The School of Rock soundtrack, again, kind of the same thing. I got this for my birthday from my girlfriend. It's like one of my favorite gifts I've ever gotten, to be honest. It's an orange vinyl, and one of the things is, I forget. I think one side of one of the records is like a guitar. I don't know how else to describe it, but very cool thing to own, in my opinion. Malibu by Anderson .Paak, big high school album. Still think it's one of his best. I'll say that. I still think it's one of his best. All That Jazz soundtrack. I forgot I had this until I saw it just now. Fantastic. I can't believe I own this. Damn. Yeah, I think this is very fun to own, and glad I own it. The Jeremiah Sand record, the kind of fictional figure from Mandy, his album that he made. Just when I saw this in the record store, I was like, I need to own this. It's so funny to own that this was even that they even made this. Yeah, just if you like I have this, but not the Mandy score on vinyl. So, yeah. Because the Internet by Childish Gambino, another big high school album. I like that I own this, especially because it comes with like the screenplay that you're supposed to like read alongside. I haven't actually done that. It's very heavy though, and really, again, great packaging, and yeah. The Moody Blues, just recently got this for like $2 at a like market in Minneapolis. But yeah, I actually haven't listened to it. I like the Moody Blues though, so I have to listen to it. Recently got this at a festival. James Blake, Friends That Break Your Heart, I think it's called. Yeah. It's the only James Blake album that I own on vinyl, and I really do love this album. I think it's really great and kind of underrated. It's very pop for him. I wouldn't say it's my favorite album of his, and I kind of regret buying it because it was like $40, but I own it, and I can't. I couldn't say no to this photo. This is such a great photo. This is one of my favorite things I've gotten recently. Swedish Fiddle Music. Just saw that and was like, I need it, and I listened to it the other day, and it was phenomenal. It's incredible. It's exactly what I wanted. $2. Kelly Lee Owens, LP8. I like Kelly Lee Owens a lot. This is a very hard album to digest. It's a lot of weird electronic stuff. Got to be in the right mood for it, but I'm just glad I own it on vinyl. Fortet, like I mentioned earlier, I always forget what this album's actually called. I just call it the Polka Dot album. I don't actually know what it's called. It's something long. And I'm going to kick myself for not knowing. But I love this album. It's great. Even though I don't remember what it's... Oh, it should be on the side. There Is Love in You. Yeah, kind of a forgettable title, to be honest. But not a forgettable album. Fantastic. Probably some of his best work. Yeah. Artificial Intelligence. Electronic Listening from Warp. This is just a collection or a compilation of different electronic songs. Got this recently. Listen to it. Love it. I think it's great. I don't have a ton to say about it though. But there's a great song by what I don't actually know how to pronounce their name. Autechre? Autechre? I'm yeah. This is that Flying Lotus album I mentioned earlier. I don't have much to say about it. I think it's one of his weaker albums. But as you'll come to see, I really like him. I think he might be my favorite producer, so I kind of feel like I need to complete his discography on vinyl. Floating Points. This is a fantastic. I mean, Floating Points, Pharoah Sanders, and the London Symphony Orchestra, not just Floating Points. But this is one of my favorite albums of that year. It's kind of talked about too much. I'm sure you've already heard about it, but I think it's fantastic, and the record itself is very cool. The way it's, hold on, yeah, it like folds open. That's great packaging, great album, just one of my favorite things. The Smiths, not much to say about this. Record's falling out. All right, let's just bust through some of these. Don Cherry recently got this. Really liked it. I don't have a ton to say about it. It was just very cheap at the record store, so I was like, I have to have it. Burial, Untrue. Also saw this at the record store recently and was like, I love this album a lot. It's a little basic to own and a little funny to own, but it sounds great on vinyl. And yeah, I mean, if you don't know about this album, you should check it out. 10,000 Gecs by 100 Gecs. Fantastic record. Joan Baez. Again, don't remember how I got this one, but I love it a lot. It's a really easygoing album, kind of nice on the ears. And Motomami by Rosalia, my favorite album of last year. She's one of the best artists working today. And that's actually no, we still have some more. Some more in the first third, that is. Harold and Maude soundtrack by Cat Stevens. This is like a new kind of, not remaster, but like packaged version of this. It comes with this big booklet and a lot of extra stuff. It's one of my favorite movie soundtracks of all time. It makes me cry. It's like he specifically, Cat Stevens, makes like the happiest sad music. Yeah. Let's see here. This is Slow Tie's new album, Tyrone. Or no, not Tyrone. This is Ugly. I also have Tyrone somewhere in here. It's not Tyrone, but it's signed. I will not say anything about it. This was a blind by Film Musik 1, by Konrad Schnitzler. Yeah, it's just like some old electronic synth stuff. It's good. It's good. I don't have a ton to say about it. There's Tyrone. Also signed. This smells like an apple. The apple sticker. Yeah. God Save the Animals by Alex G. My second favorite album of last year behind Motomami. Got into a big Alex G phase. And yeah, this was like the introductory album of his for me, which is a weird place to start. And then Slow Dive, Souvlaki. I think this is the only Slow Dive album I fully have like listened to and enjoyed. I love it so much, and I'm like, I probably should like do a proper dive into their music. But yeah, I love this album quite a bit. All right, that's the first third. Let's get into the next batch. Here we go. Mamas and the Papas, 20 Greatest Hits. I think my friend gave me this one. A lot of these, my friend gave me. So some of them I have no idea, and I have no backstory for, but I'm going to keep on trucking. Simon and Garfunkel, Bridge Under Troubled Water. Just kind of like an essential one to have. I think this is my mom's copy. But yeah, I mean, what is there to... Yeah, that's my mom's name up there. Not much to say. It's just a classic. America, The Hits. This was my grandma's copy, except it might be my mom's, but it was at my grandma's, and she was like, you can have it. I love America, the band. They're so underrated to me. They're one of my favorite bands from that era. They just like do the kind of thing that I like to listen to, and it's a little cliche, but I really dig it. It's my kind of stuff. Joe Sample, Voices in the Rain. Zero thoughts on it. Al Jarreau, good one to have on in the background. Also my mom's copy. Stand, Sly and the Family Stone. Also my mom's copy. Don't have a ton of thoughts on it. And ASAP Ferg, Trap Lord. A high school buy, I'll admit. But a great album. I have not listened to it since high school, but I remember really liking it. Saw it at the record store, was like, fuck it. Okay. Let's see. E. Brown, Recreation. Not a ton to say about it. Cool album cover. I think this is my dad's copy. Don't know what this is. It's just a foot with a sock on it. It was a blind buy from a few years ago. I was like really into that for a while, of just buying stuff based on the album cover. This was not a hit. I didn't like this at all. It was only $3, so I don't really regret it. But Throat Licked, I think the band's name is Throat Licked Inch Fur. Not my thing. Not my thing. I'll say that much. James Galway's Music in Time. I don't think I've ever listened to this, but I own it. What is this? I don't know what this is, to be honest. I don't know what this is. I don't know what it is. I don't know what this is either. Some of these I really don't know, because I took a bunch off my friend's hands a few years ago. Rock Me Amadeus, the American edit. Don't know, but some of these, this is a wake-up call. I should listen to some of these. Berlin Philharmonic Orchestra. This is part of a package and it fell out. Tchaikovsky. Yeah, this is part of a bigger thing that I'll talk about in a second. This belongs somewhere. Waxahachie, Ivy Trip. Also one of my friends that I took off her hands. Don't listen to this one that often. I should really give it a chance, though. Summer Cannibals, No Makeup. Again, not a ton of thoughts. Star Wars The Force Awakens, music by John Williams. This is a record store day buy. I also don't remember picking this up myself, but cool thing to own, I guess. The House soundtrack. Got this one last year. One of my favorite things I have. It was, who put this one out? It was one of those Waxwork Records. That's not the name I remember. But yeah, really cool packaging. A great soundtrack. It's one of the best parts about this movie. Love the art. It's fantastic. Beach House, Depression Cherry. This is probably the record that I have listened to the most on vinyl. It's kind of a go-to because it just is always nice to have on. It's always nice to listen to, no matter what mood you're in. It's also a nice fuzzy velvet material. Really cool. Bob Dylan's Greatest Hits, because why not? My mom's copy. And Inside the Inside Out. I've never listened to this. This is my friend's copy. All right. We have actually, never mind. I thought these were a lot that I didn't know of, but I don't recognize this one, the front bottoms. This is the new Big Thief album. It's fantastic. It's freaking amazing. I love this album. Very sad. The first song specifically is so devastating, but or just makes me sad. I love this album though. Definitely check it out. Had to own it on vinyl. House of Sugar by Alex G. A nice little glittery texture going on. Probably his best album. Probably. All right, this was the one I was afraid of. It's so embarrassing. Everybody just Eminem's Greatest Hits. It's extra embarrassing because it was the first album I ever owned. It was the first thing I bought for my record player in high school. And my logic was that it's the hits, so I would want to listen to them all. Which was not great logic. But to be fair, the man has hits, and these are his good hits. This was pre-recovery. So they're like kind of the best Eminem. So not that embarrassing. My computer just went to sleep for a second. Not that embarrassing, but a little bit embarrassing for sure. Sylvan Esso, What Now? Probably my favorite album of theirs. They haven't seemed to top it since, except the new album came close. But yeah, one of my favorite electronic indie folk pop albums. Blends all of that together seamlessly. Danny Brown, you know what I'm saying? Love this album. Very underrated album. I like, this is a great album. It's just good. It's not like going crazy the way his other albums do, but that's fine for me. I think he's still just a great MC if he's like doing stuff pretty casually, which is kind of what this is. It's just like good, clean fun, and I think it works. I think it's great. It's not his best, but I like it a lot. King Cruel, this is a solid album. I like his new one a lot. It's definitely way better than this one. But this was a big one of those albums in high school that like opened my eyes and kind of put me onto a lot of sad indie rock. And I still think it holds up. I still think there are a lot of great songs on here, like A Lizard State, Neptune Estate, a lot of good stuff. This is one of my proudest possessions. Blonde by Frank Ocean. Not a bootleg or a fake or anything. This was the only time he like put this out officially, and it was for like Black Friday, and I pounced on it while I was at like my cousin's house. I was like, I need it, and it took forever to get to my house. The shipping took ages, and it was very expensive, but 100% worth it. I brag about it any chance I get. It's a little beat up, but that's like kind of, it's because I've listened to it a lot, and it's how I want it to be. It's like worn out, and it's like the best. It's one of the probably the best album of that decade, which I know is basic, but it is. It's fantastic, and I'm glad I own the official release. All right. Dexter Gordon, another one of my mother's. Don't know a ton about this album. This one, yeah. I think that's my friend's copy, but yeah, it's great. Another one of my friends, 2001: A Space Odyssey. We just like, we have a lot of fun with this. It's only $2, which is kind of crazy, but yeah, it's a fun album to like just put on, because you're like, it's just so intense at times. Oh Jesus, what is this? This is a 7-inch. I think this came with a puzzle. Slow Mass Music for Ears. Yeah, this came with a puzzle that I bought, which is really cool. More albums should come with or more puzzles should come with 7 inches. I think that's a good trend. Sufjan Stevens, Carrie and Lowell. Another kind of hold this one close to my heart album. Love this album a lot. Made me very... It came at a time when I was very fragile and emotional, so it just hit all the right chords for me. Hal McIntyre and his orchestra, instrumentals never before on record. I do remember listening to this while making breakfast once and really loving it, and I think this was also a blind buy. Joseph Chabasson, The Fellowship. Love this album. I've written a lot of videos to this album, and I've actually written like some screenplays to this album. It's just a great writing album, but I don't want to, that sounds offensive, because it's not just like a have it on in the background type album. It's actually like really well made music, and I've just listened to it on its own a few times, and I think it's just fantastic, and he's one of the best producers that I know working today. Last third. We're almost there. Okay. Let's see here. Nashville. I've been listening to this so much this summer. I listened to it a lot during the 4th of July. But such a great record. Such a great record. Ordered this off Amazon, which is the least cool way to get an album. But, I was watching the movie and I was like, I need to own it. I need to own it right now. Alt J, I forget what this one's called. Kind of embarrassing. Because Alt J, it's like, who's listening to Alt J anymore? But still really like this album. I mean, it was really cool in high school, and a lot of different colored vinyl. So I don't know. I don't really put it on all that much. Marvin Gaye, Let's Get It On. None to say about that. A mood setter. This one is Flying Lotus. It's an EP. I forget what it's actually called. Yeah, Pattern and Grid World. Fantastic EP. Such a great EP. Some of his best work on here. Like, what is it called? Camera Day is amazing, as well as Kill Your Coworkers. You should listen to Kill Your Coworkers. That's a fantastic song. Love it. 100 Gex, 1,000 Gex. Kind of a classic at this point. I'll say it. I think this is, like, at this point in time, a bit of a classic. And deserves it. I really like the new album, but it was going to be hard to top this because they kind of came out swinging, and I just had to own it because of its cultural significance. Another Art Garfunkel album, Watermark. Great. Not as good as Breakaway, but I still enjoy it. It's a very sweet photo. Young Lean, Unknown Memory. He's gotten so much better since this album, yet this is the only one I own. I think I asked for this for Christmas, so my mom had to order this album, and she's probably like, well, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's solid. I don't think it deserves the hate that it gets. I think it's still a really solid album and captures that point in time for cloud rap. I have a soft spot for Young Lean, so I'll just defend him as much as I can. John Lennon, Yoko Ono, Double Fantasy. Another record of my mom's, but one that I really love. I'm not crazy about the Yoko songs on here, but Just Like Starting Over is a fantastic song. I love that song so much, and there's some other really good ones in here. Yeah, so I don't know. It's great. A$AP Rocky, Long Live A$AP. Another early buy, like one of the very first ones I bought. Because, yeah, I just thought it was very re-listenable, but not one that I revisit that often now, funny enough. I don't think it's his best. There are some really great highlights on here, but it's not, I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. I still like that I own it. The actual vinyl is gold. There we go. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Quasimodo, The Further Adventures of Lord Quas. The one that I actually wanted by Quasimodo was sold out at the store. They just didn't have it, so I settled for this one. And it's still amazing. It was a blind buy because it was one of my first blind buys, actually. I mean, I knew Quasimodo, but I didn't know the album, and still came away loving it. This is my mom's. Not a lot to say about this. I forget who this is. Again, Santana's Greatest Hits. I don't listen to this one that much, but my mom really likes it. This is another embarrassing one. Goblin by Tyler, the Creator. Easily his worst album. I'll say it. Easily his worst. And this was back when I was really into him in high school, so I was just like, I needed to own anything he put out. I think this was like before Wolf came out that I bought this, but yeah, it's fun to own, I guess, but really not not a good album, to be honest. Good Kid, Mad City, a great album, a fantastic album. Kind of again similar to, this is gonna sound funny, similar to 1,000 Gex, a classic, and I was like, I just need to own it for that reason. I really love it, and yeah, what needs to be said? Illinois by Sufjan Stevens. What do we need to say about this? It's fantastic. I got it for like a decent price. I thought it would be way more expensive, and I think I got it for like $20, which was surprising, considering how much comes with this album and like how popular the album is. It's, yeah. Another blind by James Cohen Trio, recorded live at Top of the Flame. I do remember listening to this one as well. It's a great jazz album, from what I remember, but that said, I don't remember a ton about it. Oh, dude, Only Lovers Left Alive, the score by Squirrel and Joseph Van Weesum. This is one that I'm proud to own. I don't think it's like that hard to get now, but I remember when it was the timing was perfect. I watched the movie and I was like, this is an amazing score, and I looked up to see if I could get the vinyl, and it was like sold out because they like didn't make it anymore, and you could only buy it for like $160, like resold and whatever. But then like a month later, they announced they were bringing it back, and I was like, what are the odds? And it's like in cool new like blood red vinyl, and I'm not going to take it out again because it takes a while to put back in, but fantastic album. Some of the best film music out there, which is so, like, that just speaks to how talented Jim Jarmusch is because he helped make it. It's his band, Squirrel. Yeah, love it. The Lighthouse soundtrack, because, of course, I had to own this. It's funny, the light, I have green light on right now, but it's, like, see-through, so... Wait, actually, this would be a good way to... I'll do my flashlight. Where is it? It's not working. There it is. See, that's kind of fun. That's fun. Yeah. It's, like, just kind of dark, gritty, ambient music. There's not, like, a ton... Besides, you know, the... Where is it? Do they even have the sea shanties on here? I don't even think they do. Yeah, anyway. Fun to own. Frank Sinatra sings for Only the Lonely. Another good making breakfast album. Good album to have on while you're making breakfast. Spooky Black, Leaving. A big high school album for me. I love Corbin and his work. He's not making the best stuff nowadays. It's a little too poppy, but I still listen to it because I like his voice a lot and I like his songwriting. But this was a great album. He's grown a lot since this. The packaging is really kind of lousy, but yeah. Buzu Chavis. A Blind Buy. Just thought it was a hilarious cover and can't say much about it. Wolf by Tyler, the Creator. At one point, I said I would die for this album. It was a big favorite in high school, and I still really like it a lot. I think I can't say it's his best, but it might be my favorite. This era of his music was so great. So yeah, I love this album a lot. I don't think it's my favorite thing now, but it does hold a very special place in my heart. Because I think it was the first album that I truly like obsessed over. To Pimp a Butterfly, another classic. Kind of just, you know, had to own this. I feel the same about Kendrick as I do about Flying Lotus. It's like he's like one of the best, so I feel the need to kind of complete his discography. I haven't gotten Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers yet, and I don't have the Untitled B-sides for this album, I'm pretty sure. And I don't have Section 80, so I have a lot to catch up on, but, you know, great album. This is Destroyed. I think I bought this along with the Eminem Greatest Hits album. It was like this and that Eminem album, and it's clearly gotten destroyed. But really love this record. Very of its time, but still holds up. Very simple, but listenable. And just a few more. Okay. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, the only Kanye album I own, weirdly enough. And for how much I loved his music, I thought I would own more than this, but yeah, I mean it's in really tough shape because it's kind of a clunky package and gets torn up easily. But again, I don't think records being worn down is a big problem. I think it just adds to it. Okay, so Complete Slavonic Dances. This is one of my friends that I took off her hands. I have listened to it, actually. I have, but not often. It's like 5 records. It's a lot. So, but yeah, it's fun. Let's see here. Jay-Z, The Blueprint. Weird that this is the only Jay-Z album I own, but kind of felt like I had to own a Jay-Z album, and I do really like this era of Jay-Z a lot. It's got some of the hits in here, like Izzo, Girls, Girls, Girls. I love that song. Renegade. I mean, it's got like some great Jay-Z songs in here, so yeah. Heart of the City. Come on. Lapsley Through Water. Love this album. Very underrated album. I discovered it through like one of the music videos. It was really cool, but it's got this kind of, it really matches the album cover. It's a very like watery pop album. Very ethereal. Is that the right way to describe it? I don't know, but it's fantastic. The Hateful Eight soundtrack, or the score, I should say. But yeah, I mean, it's an amazing score. Some of the best music to come out of a Tarantino film. Or I should say the original music, like the score. And just a cool thing to own. And while we're talking about movies, I think the rest of these, most of them, just 3 of these are movies. Clockwork Orange. I bought this one off my friend Trevor, similar with the Psycho one. And while we're talking about it, I also bought this one in the same package, Raiders of the Lost Ark. I actually haven't. I should listen to this album because I don't think I've actually listened to it yet. I mean, I know what the music sounds like, but I haven't popped it in to see how it sounds. But it's very old and in kind of beat up shape, but a cool thing to own because I love that music so much. And Do the Right Thing soundtrack. Is the record in here? Oh yeah, it is. Did not feel it. Yeah, great soundtrack. One of my favorite movies. And Moondog. I went through a big Moondog phase a few years ago. But he's really great if you haven't listened to him. He has a lot of weird, like, Viking jazz music is the best way I can describe it. When you're in the mood, it hits like no other, is what I'll say. FKA Twigs, LP2, is that what it's called? LP1. Yeah, love this album. She was doing some great things on this album. It really worked for me, and I wish she would kind of return to what she was doing here. It was very interesting. And I have one more, and it kind of fell over, but Damn by Kendrick Lamar. Great album. Again, kind of trying to complete the Kendrick Lamar thing, and yeah, it's kind of an essential one to have. I wouldn't call it a classic, but it kind of culturally, yeah, it made a splash. So that's gonna do. I guess it's not that many, but I thought this video would be like 2 hours long. It was 37 minutes, but I still feel exhausted. But anyway, I hope this was fun, and I hope you maybe walked away with some new stuff. I'm sorry I didn't talk about them that much. I just had to get through it. But thank you for watching, and I hope you're having a good day, and bye.